Tia Probst. I'm a graduate from Teutopolis High School, class of 2022. I'm now a freshman at Parkland College. So about a year and a half ago, I guess, November 19th, I fell 20 feet from a tree stand after I shot at a deer. I guess it was kind of a traumatic experience. I was with my dad at the time. It was kind of a freak accident, out of nowhere, I just fell backwards and landed on all fours, kind of like a dog on my elbows and knees. And I landed and my back kind of just cracked and I shattered my L4 vertebrae, cracked my sacrum and my pelvis. So I was immediately airlifted to the hospital and they went through surgery and they were a little bit nervous for the fear of paralysis during that surgery. So it was kind of a hard thing to hear for me and my parents because we weren't sure if I was gonna walk or be able to just play sports or do anything that I should be able to do. So it was kind of just traumatic, but after a 10-hour surgery, it went well. And about 2 days later, I walked down the hospital hallway and they started extreme therapy about a month later. So yeah, and I've been doing therapy ever since. So I went to Sarah Bush here in Effingham for about 3.5 months. And it was hard at first. At first I worked on just moving my legs up and down and just doing stretches and just little motions like that just to get me back in mobility. And then eventually, as I got stronger and more flexible, they started doing stuff with bands and just stuff like that, just to get my muscles moving again, and the stuff I haven't used in a while since surgery. So then I started doing that, and then kind of started getting more intense at the near end of it. And I started doing things like jogging and just regular motions that kind of were intense, like a workout kind of. So yeah, it was cool. It was fun. It was definitely challenging though. I was really just nervous to take a first step out of my hospital bed because I was like, what if I just collapse to the ground, or what if I just can't walk? And I was just like super nervous, but I guess the nurse said, you just need to take a couple steps and see how that goes. And if you don't like it or it feels not good, then we'll lay you back down. We'll try again tomorrow. And so I remember we went in the hallway and I took a couple steps and I was like, oh, I can kind of do this. So I just kept going and going, and I ended up walking down the whole hallway and back with just no one helping me, even just with my mom right by me and no walker or anything. And it was super cool. I was super emotional just to know that I can at least walk and do things like that. That is something I thought would be taken away from me, but it was definitely a good experience.
The injury happened going into your softball senior season. What were the emotions like as you were in that moment?
Well, funny story. Immediately after I fell and hit the ground, I don't know why, but the first thing I said was, can I ever play softball again, to my dad, even not knowing that I could walk or anything like that. It was pretty emotional because softball has been my whole life since I've been like 9 or 10 years old. And I was super stoked for the senior year because I knew that I would be the starting pitcher for varsity. And it was hard at first, just eventually just coming to realization that I wouldn't be able to play and I'd have to watch from the bench. But as soon as the first games and practices started, I knew that my team was behind me because they were just so supportive. They always just made me know that I was there. They never forgot about me. My coach, Crystal Tipton, she always pushed me, and even though I wasn't on the field physically playing, she pushed me mentally and physically off the field to just be the best person I can be. So it was definitely a lot easier with the people that surrounded me. Without the coaches and players, I don't think that it would have been as easy. But yeah, it was tough, but I definitely got through it.
What your teammates were taking away from you, not just as a teammate, but as a positive mentor?
So I mean, I just every single game showed up and just tried to be just a leader. I knew that that was my role now. I always try to be a leader anyways on the field, so I figured why not be a leader off the field too and just lead my team to victory from the bench, from the field, just knowing that I could be a positive light to the team. I know that it was important for me to just stay loud, stay energized, and just know that I played a role of being a leader and just having a positive mental attitude every game. And I think that some of the younger girls looked up to that because it was just kind of easy for them to see a senior on the bench cheering, so it was easy for them to be right behind me cheering as well. So I feel like it made a little bit of a difference.
The doctors told you that you could throw one pitch on the mound, okay? What went through your mind, but also from the community standpoint, your mom and dad had no idea and how emotional they were. What does that mean to you?
So I remember that week at therapy, I was really I was like, well, maybe on senior night I can do something, throw a pitch, just have an at bat, something like that. And I was just super excited to just tell my therapist maybe she'll give me some good insight that maybe I could. And I didn't really have super high hopes knowing that I couldn't twist still. And I had a lot of restrictions still. So I was not super high hopes, but I was just like, okay, maybe this will work. But I remember I talked to my therapist and I was like, maybe on senior night I could work hard and just maybe try to throw one pitch. And she was like, you know what, we can make that happen. We're gonna work on it in therapy for 2 weeks and we're gonna get you to where you can at least make a circle with your arm and get your leg out there enough to leg a pitch in there. And it was super awesome to just hear her say that, because I knew even if it was only for one pitch, it would still be meaningful, even knowing that my parents don't know and the community doesn't know. It was kind of just a nice surprise on senior night for me, even though I knew. It was just super cool, and the community was behind me, and it was just awesome to see that support that I had. When I did go up and throw that pitch, Grace Busher from Effingham, she was the batter, and at the time, I mean, I knew of her, and we were good friends. I didn't know her super well, and her mom and my mom are really good friends, and we're college roommates in college, and it was just such a good experience because she was so sweet. And when I threw that pitch, obviously she wasn't allowed to swing because I wasn't allowed to play defense, so she did a really good job handling that, and she was just so sweet and came up to me and hugged me and congratulated me after the game. And little did I know we were going to be college teammates, and now we're best friends, and it's super cool that we lived that experience together. And now that she gets to come behind me and support me every single day through my physical therapy journey in college, and she's super supportive and one of the best friends that someone could ask for.
Hey, let's go, Grace! Here's on three. 1, 2, 3, shoot! Atta girl, Tia!
It was just super emotional. I just remember there was videos of my parents' reactions, and just a lot of my best friends were there, and just a lot of my classmates and teammates were all there watching, and just to see the tears and the emotions in people's eyes, just everyone coming behind me to support me means so much. And I remember just hugging my parents and hugging my best friends, and they were emotional and just so proud of me that I could just work hard enough to be able to live that moment. And it was just such a heartwarming experience for me, but for our whole community as a whole. But it kind of just shows how much our community grows together and is behind one another. So it was awesome.
Just recently, Parkland played in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and you told your coach, "Coach, if we get a big lead, maybe I could bat one time." And what was your coach's reaction like?
Well, at first I was like kind of just joking around with them and both my coaches, and we were winning 18-0 at this time before the thought went through my head. The competition in Florida wasn't the best as we usually face in other parts. So it was kind of like maybe that I can take this chance as I'll get in, and it doesn't really matter because we're winning by so much. And I said, maybe if we get up 35-0, maybe I can get a chance to bat. And he kind of laughed, and it was funny at first. And he was like, yeah, you can bat if we get up 35-0. And I think that thought kept going through his mind. And we were still winning only 18 or 19-0 this time. And I remember one of my teammates and all my teammates were like, Tia, you should bat. Like, you should get up there. And I was like, well, it's not up to me. And I remember one of my teammates went up to my coach and said, let her bat. And I was embarrassed at the time. And he was like, you know what? Go get a jersey on and you can get up there and bat. And I was like, wow. So it was kind of a adrenaline rush. And my teammate we went to the bathroom and we switched jerseys. So I was wearing softball pants instead of shorts and whatnot. And I went up there and he told me, do not swing, because I was not allowed to swing at the time. And I got a bunt down first base line and scored an RBI, and it was just kind of super emotional. Again, I went to the dugout and tears were in everyone's eyes and in the crowd. And it was just so cool to just know my coaches let me do that and have that experience, even though it was a risk of letting up an at-bat and a possible run. And I knew that they were behind me, supporting me either way. So it was super cool that they gave me that chance and allowed me to experience something that I never thought I would experience again.
Your dad recently told me, Keith Probst, that you are becoming a leader, not just in your immediate family, but all around. And normally it's parents becoming leaders over the kids, but now it's becoming you becoming a leader for the family. When he says that, what does that mean to you?
I just think that through all this journey, I've gotten really close to God in my faith, and I've grown in tremendously. And I just think that from a standpoint of always just kind of going through the motions, that this experience made me realize that I needed to step up my game as a person, as an athlete, as in my spiritual life, that you only really get one chance at life. And I think that this kind of made me realize that. And I just want to be like a light to others, and for them to know that no matter what you're going through, it's easy to forget that you only get to live once, and it's just become a habit for me to be able to just help others know that to have a positive energy in this world, because negative energy doesn't get you anywhere. So I just think that I kind of took my own advice, and I kind of tried to just be the best person I can be every day, just so that others kind of have a reason to smile. So I think that I just took that leadership because I knew that I needed to, and that people needed me. So that's kind of the reason behind it. I knew when I was recruited my junior year that I was recruited to be an athlete, and they knew that. And immediately we talked, and they said, we want you for your athleticism and your personality, because I know that you can bring both to this team. And I really took joy in that, and I thought that was just so kind of them to just tell me that, and just that I know that I was on this team for a reason. And then once my kind of athleticism was taken away, I knew that my chances of maybe being an attribute to this team was lower. And after this year, I know that's completely not the case. They've been the most supportive coaches, and I've had the most supportive team that I've ever had in my entire life. And they just made it to where I was always just a big part of this team. They continually tell me that I'm such a big part of this team because I bring a positive attitude. So I try to I know that this is my role on this team, and I try to make it a priority to just be positive and just to always be supportive of my teammates, always be the loudest in the dugout, just kind of trying to take my role on this team as just a leader and a positive light, not as just athletic ability. So I kind of just stepped into that role knowing that my coaches want me to be that role, and just know that all my teammates somewhat look up to me, I think, from my story, and just knowing that I can be a leader to them and to just everyone around me. It's so nice to just know that no matter what role I take on this team, that they're supportive of me, and they seriously, every single day, they push me and support me. If I'm doing therapy at practice, they're always around me, hyping me up and just cheering me on. And even if I'm walking on the treadmill at lift, they are always coming by me, giving me high fives. And they're just so easy to be positive around, because they give me positive energy back. So it's just such a nice thing to have a team like this, because it's just different, and it shows that not only does this help our record with our athleticism, that our team just shows so much togetherness, which is why I think that we are doing so well the way that we have been performing, is because we play as a team. And that just shows in their every single day at practice, they show up, they're behind me, I'm behind them. And then at games, we show up together and we lead together no matter what happens. So it's just super cool to just have that team aspect.
On a mental health side, what goes through your mind knowing that I kind of know you more?
I think it's just easy to just know that you've always been supportive of me, no matter if it's athleticism or just a personal level. You've always pushed me to just be the best athlete and person I can be, and you've always been one to just always congratulate me and always be behind me in all my successes. And even if I don't do as well, like stuff like this, it's easy for you to know that even if I'm struggling, you're always supportive, and just know that that you've always been behind me and working hard to just cover athletes around us, and just knowing that their successes bring an attribute to our community as well. So
what you've gone through as far as we've worked together on and helping each other out too.
I would say just after an accident like that, it's easy to just want to give up. And I never was really one to let up, because I know that I wanted to push hard to fight back. And I just think that with the struggles that you've been through, I think it's easy for me to just want to work harder for people like that, because I know that other people struggle. And with my physical struggles, I wanted to be able to be a light for all those who struggle mentally or physically. So I just think when I had hard days and just wanted to let up and just give up on softball, give up on therapy and all that stuff, I just think it was easy for me to look at others in their situations and just work harder for them as well as myself.
You don't realize what type of an impact people could have on your life, and Tia is a very good example of why leaders are leaders and bringing a positive impact on the community. So I know we mentioned the fact of embracing stuff, but when you're an individual and people hear your story, what do you think is the biggest takeaway from when they hear from your side?
I think I just want them to take away that no matter what you're going through, and no matter what struggles you face on a daily basis, I think it's just easy to just let up and just let your struggles take over you. And I just think that letting someone know that you're bigger than your problems and you're bigger than what people say that you're going to be, I just think it's proving that you can work harder and just be the best, even though you might think that you struggle with certain things, just overcoming that and working harder and even harder on the daily just to make goals for yourself and push yourself and achieving those goals. So, well, there's been times where I've struggled just in physically, mentally. Just it's a challenge sometimes when you go through something like a surgery or something like that. And I just think for me, I turn to God because I wouldn't be here on this earth if I didn't get another chance at life. And I know that even if you aren't spiritual, I know that just praying and just turning to those that you love can always make a big difference. And just reaching out to people like your parents or just knowing that people are behind you and supporting you, and just know that you make a difference in this world, and you are important, and your struggle does not define you, and you are worth more than you think. So I just think that knowing that and just encouraging yourself, having good positive thoughts and energy just helps a lot too, and just getting through the next day, because every day is a new day. So that you only get one chance at life, and why would you not make the fullest of it? I just really want people to see that no matter where you are in life or what you go through, that there's so much more to life, and just to not let up, because there's so many people that are hurting or struggling worse than you, and you always want to be that person that people can come to and just be able to smile around. So I just kind of try to be that positive light, because I want people to know that no matter what this journey has on me, that I will just not let up, and that I will continue to work hard even though it's a struggle. Sometimes I try to make it to where other people can just see that I work hard, and even though I don't know the outcome all the time, that it's not easy for me to let up, and I will never stop just pushing myself. So I want others to take that away. Right now, physically, my goal is to next year play first base, because I still have hope, and I've gotten hope from my surgeons and therapists that that's possible. So I work hard at therapy every week. I do therapy on my own. I do workouts. I've worked so hard to just be able to even run. So I've been working at that, and I just work hard in hopes that maybe next year I'll have a spot at first base. And even if I don't, just know that I can get on the field and maybe have a chance to be there. But in the end goal, I really just want to influence people. I really just want to make a difference. That's my ultimate goal, is that I can have a story that people can just know and just reflect on. And I just want to be a light to others, and just maybe just an inspiration to those around me. And eventually maybe one day share that somewhere big time, and for people to just know that no struggle can define you. Thanking my parents, my siblings, my family, my coaches, travel ball coaches, school coaches, just my friends, even people I don't know, just our community in general. Just there's so many people that I have to thank for everything that they've given me and they've done for me. I wouldn't be where I am without my therapists and my doctors and my surgeons and all those people that have physically helped me, and not just that, but people that have been supportive of me mentally and physically and spiritually, just pushing me to not give up, and to just for me to know that I'm making an impact on them. It's super cool to hear that from outside sources, and I just can't thank them enough for their support.
That's a really big story you have. So thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you for your time. Great to call you a good friend.
Of course. You too, Tyler.